Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the APAT show, coming to you live from Malta. Leigh, I wish we were coming live from Malta, but we're not.
We're about the only ones that bloody aren't.
I know, it seems like everybody's in Malta, Leigh.
Everybody else is in Malta. The entire poker world is in Malta. What a great week they've had, numbers-wise, to the point where they've had to cancel some stuff because there just literally was not enough room. And it's been a crazy year for numbers in general. But APAT event 799. Don't worry. We will be having a meeting with Tom when he gets back, asking him why he didn't drag one more person in off the street to get the headline number. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll understand what went on. But yeah, just crazy. I mean, to the point where I don't know whether any of you saw any of Tom's vids on Facebook. Check them out. The man's just, he's honestly, he's like Spielberg. He was up and down escalators and stuff because we were in different rooms to where we normally are because they were trying to cram them in. So whilst there were 500 and odd playing the day 1A, we also put a day 1B turbo at the 10 o'clock, which went on to the early hours in the morning. And they were having to put that in a different room altogether. That's how crazy it was. But yeah, I mean, Yvonne and the team must be absolutely chuffed to bits because the numbers have just been insane. That's our 10th event at Malta. And that's the biggest number we've had. Yeah. Not the biggest number this year, though.
No.
As I was, funnily enough, only an hour ago telling some people on a different podcast. Sorry, I've been cheating on you, Des, on a Sunday night.
Outrageous. Can't believe it.
Cannot believe it. Yeah, but Ash got more than that, which is nuts when you think about it, that we would be saying 799 in Malta. That's got to be the best event of the year. Nope.
not even the best event of the last couple of months, Leigh.
No, not there. What a crazy year it's been. And I guess it all started. We were talking about the Irish Open, which obviously we're going to be back next year. But they were opening another hall there and sticking tables in it last minute to fill it. I don't know what's gone on with live poker, but it's just gone through the roof. And it's only going to get busier between now and the end of the year. We've still got 2 more events to do. And I don't know whether you've seen the structure for the schedule for London, but I mean, I don't think there's going to be a spare poker table in London because you've got us there, then you've got the Hender Mob Championship, Party Poker Tour, you've got the grand final of the GUKPT at the Vic. It's just pretty much wall-to-wall poker between now and Christmas.
So explain it to me, Leigh. Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the Trump phenomenon. Everybody's afraid they're going to be under house arrest at some point in the near future, so they're getting out while they can. But yet, Leigh, we can't get a simple satellite running online. It makes no sense. Live is buzzing.
Unfortunately not. Yeah. And weirdly, last week, I thought, with running our WCOAP online, which got some great numbers. Thanks to everybody that played that. I thought, the satellite on the Sunday night, I'll be manic. Nope, really wasn't. We got to one seat. Congratulations to. I'm not even sure who it was that won it last week. I want to say it was Gordon MacArthur. I think it was who won the seat last week. But quiet and quiet again this week. But you can still every Sunday night win a 140 APAT package. You can use that for any event for the rest of the year. So you can use it for any of the events in London, or you can use it for squads if you want to. But we have got next 2 weekends for those eagle-eyed of you on the lobby. Now, the lobbies have changed, which means it's actually probably another good reason why we're not live streaming any poker tonight, because I've got a funny feeling I'd open up the lobby and go, right, how am I going to fit this in? But under tournaments, we've currently got APAT WCOAP. So if you click on that, it doesn't matter whether you're on Windows or whether you're on Mac, it's the same. And you'll see unfortunately, you'll see the APAT events in there without the satellite feeders that used to be in there, because they're now sitting elsewhere just to make it even more confusing. But anyway, for those of you that checked, next 2 weeks, we have got championship weekends. So we have got next weekend, Saturday night, we have a £30 PLO high-low championship. So a full £30, full on, sit and play that. On the Sunday, we've got a No Limit Hold'em Championship. And then the following week, on the Saturday night, we've got a PLO Championship. And on the Sunday, we've got a PKO Bounty Championship. So
medal events, Leigh.
Four medal events, should I say.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Great.
for the next 2 weekends before we get to London. So they're on the weekends before we get to London. So 4 more chances to pick up medals with APAT. They're £30 buy-ins. You can win tickets for those through the daily feeders. So the £1 into the £5, £5 into the 30s. Yeah. Pick yourself up some 30s. You can use. I think we've also set them to make them re-entry as well. Yeah, so you'll get a little bit of value for money out of them as well. So earn your £30 tickets, and you'll be able to then have a fire at those for the next couple of weeks. And we'll be streaming on the Sunday now. We might stream on the Saturday night as well. We'll have a look. We'll see whether we're both around to do that. But
I think we'll see some good numbers in those.
Yeah, but the well worth tickets. So super numbers for the WCOAP last week. Over 200 in the main event. So well done to all of you that were involved in that. Nick Cross took the day. He's out in Malta at the moment.
I saw him on the picture. He was railing gas earlier on today.
He was railing gas. If anyone saw my Facebook earlier on, it was like
it was a who's who of the Black Country Poker Club. It was Midlands poker generally. A who's who.
APAT Pin-Up Boys on tour.
Awfully. There were legs there that I didn't want to be seeing just after my Sunday lunch, I have to say.
No, absolutely. So I saw the question in the chat. Are we live streaming from Malta? No, they don't put on any live streams from Malta. Tom is out there, but he's absolutely snowed under busy out there on his own. Looks after the APAT tour. Obviously, LPPL had a bunch of players out there as well. He also looks after the poker raffles guys. We had about 7 or 8 that won.
Yeah.
That won main event seats out there. I mean, Gaz, who won so he won the top prize in our triple draw. So he won 2 entries into the main event, 2 bullets of that, plus £1,000 in cash. Well, he only needed 1 bullet, Des, so I think we get the other one back. I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Happy days. I would love if that was the case, Leigh.
But he cashed for just over €5,000 this afternoon. So finished 17th in the main event. Gutted for him, because I know he will be gutted, because he will have wanted to just go that little bit further in final table. And obviously he had that massive rail. Everyone was following it. And it's just nice to see that event it's the closest thing, I think, to an APAT weekend where it's just people get there together and they're all traveling together and and enjoying the weekend, and really, really lovely to see.
The irony, Leigh, is that I was in Malta a week ago. I would say a week ago, right? And we're arriving, we're on the plane. I'm there with the family. We're going over for a week in the sun, a bit of winter sun. And I'm just walking off the plane and I hear a, "Hey, Des." I'm thinking, like, I'm literally just getting off the plane in Malta a week before any poker is going on, and it's Mary and Juliet, right? So both LPPL players, APAT players, of course, poker rafflers, both of them. And they're heading out for a bit of winter sun. Get there a week early, right before the poker hits. So unfortunately, I returned to the UK on the day the poker was kicking off, which was regrettable somewhat, but just the way it worked out. And the buzz over there, it's just a lovely place to be in a way.
It is great, but it has been just ridiculous queues for getting into everything, which, I mean, it's great. It's a nice problem to have. And what I would say is the team over there are superb, and they've had to make some really tough decisions this week to basically just keep everything running as smoothly as they can. You're not going to keep everybody happy. Poker's an interesting one, isn't it? Because poker players have this kind of attitude of, well, I don't need to tell you I'm going to turn up. I'll just turn up if I want to turn up. And if I don't turn up, well, that's your problem. And if I do turn up and I also turn up with all my mates, that's also your problem. You can't really win with it, can you? So, they've got capacity. Same as with any APAT event. When we're sold out and when people queuing at the door wanting to get in, we just have to look and go, well, look at the room. It's busy. So if it was empty tables and just not enough, they understaffed or they don't want to, you'd go, okay, you could have a bit of a moan. But actually, everyone's decided to go, and hopefully, of course, the fact is they could grow that next year. They could go, right, we'll prepare for another 200 players, and then 200 players don't turn up
Don't
next
turn
year.
up, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
this is the problem with it. So it is always a difficult balancing act in what to do. We've had it this year with the Worlds, where at Dusk Till Dawn, we were all. I mean, we remember we were sat there on the Wednesday at Dusk Till Dawn at 7:00 with not a spare seat in the room, looking at each other, going, "This could be an interesting week."
And the Wednesday
really
generally is a great first day, right? Because you're at the event for the first time, you're setting stuff up, so you don't want it to be absolutely manic, chocka, mad, chaotic. Ideally, you want a slow, gentle ease into your 7-day festival or whatever it is. But it was absolutely all of the chaos and mania that you would expect from a Saturday evening on our Wednesday and Thursday and every other day.
Yeah, absolutely. It was crazy, and that's the way it's going to be. And nothing we can do about it. So I think our events the rest of the year are going to be pretty busy. We're in London in 3 weeks' time, which will be an interesting one because it does actually clash with the WSOP circuit at Dusk Till Dawn, but that's obviously a higher buy-in. But obviously we've got all of our mixed games on at Genting in Stratford, so hopefully we'll see plenty of you there for that. And then obviously I think you can still got open for applications for squads if you want to play that. I think Tom will have left that open till he gets back from Malta. So if you haven't yet put in to play squads, because I was looking at the somebody asked me for the leaderboard. I mean, it's just people already getting prepped as.
Yeah,
I don't suppose you've got any idea what sort of points for day one so I was looking and I forgot how many we had in squads last year. It was 67 squads, I think it was in the end.
It was
nuts.
It was huge. And did I see some healthy discussion going on in the APAT sort of little private group in relation to points allocations and all of that good stuff? Yeah, it never ends. Always trying to sort of improve it.
I think we're going to be 10-handed. So that was the first discussion, and then we had a little bit of a discussion as to whether we should just go full on Formula One style. Which makes the points just a little bit more meaty at the top, and we might well do that. But yeah, if you want to get involved in that, it's a really fun weekend. I was explaining it to Chris and Dom on their podcast earlier on, because actually, Chris asked a very good question. He said, "I'm really surprised why does nobody else do team events?" And I said, "Well, I think it's just because we do it so well." And I've been doing it so well for so long that actually, I think people just go, it's really what APAT do really, really well. Yeah. All we're going to end up doing is trying to replicate that, and we probably won't do it, get it quite as spot on. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's
team events are they're complicated. They're full of risk. Where points need to be allocated from way out, not necessarily once you hit the cash, way out, and to your great credit, Leigh, we've been doing these for what feels like 18, 19 years now, and I don't recall any issues of any sort. Whereas I do see when others try to do team comps, results don't get announced for several days, or results get announced and then a change, a controversy happens, and they're difficult. They're really difficult to do well.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's not an easy one to do. And we were talking about tag teams as well, and how more teams don't do that. And I said, well, I think we get that right for squads because it gives people the flexibility for the weekend. What we want to make sure is people can rock up for a weekend and there's poker to play, and affordable poker to play. Not like some events where it's the cheapest thing's 500 quid or whatever, because that doesn't work for people that are satellited in or are recreational poker players. They've got their one shot at a main event, they bust it, and then they're kind of twiddling their thumbs because they've got nothing else to do. So that's what we've got for the rest of the this year anyway. So
I'm pretty good shape. Just we mentioned Malta, just to let you know. So 10. So we're just shy of the final table. In Malta, 10 remaining, 29 minutes left in level 25. Blinds 100k, 200k, right? Big blinds as you'd expect with an 800 runner. I'm claiming 800 runners, Leigh. 800 runner event. So 10.
It was when I messaged you last night. It was 807, and I think what it had the alternates waiting to get into the turbo, and I think maybe some of them just went, yeah, I don't really fancy getting in there now. So it dropped back down, because I'm going, how's it got below 800? It was 807 when I looked. So which is why I was like going, guys, we've hit the 800. Amazing. Yeah, that's fair play to everybody.
Dan Williams says, when is Leigh entering the World Championships of Excel? Very good. And thanks for helping out last weekend, Dan.
Dan was very good.
Good lad.
Last week. It was superb having him. I thought he was going to. I thought we were going to be commentating on him. Going
did he have a deep run in something?
Yeah. No, he was in the main event, and just fell a little bit short in the end. But at one point we were in a good spot, and we were thinking we were going to be following Dan all the way to meddledom. But it wasn't to be, unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll have another go in the next few weeks.
He's no Super Matt Pitt, who I think we had on the stream one night and live through the whole thing. Matt, I think finished second in whatever event he was playing from memory.
But had a good chat with Dan. He's he's super busy at the moment because he's on stage in a
is it Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So and I didn't realize that was kind of that's where he was hoping career wise was going to go in his early years. But not to be, but on stage with his daughter. So that's quite cool. So that's quite a cool thing. So he was very talkative about what was going on with that, and enjoying getting back and doing a little bit of stuff on stage, and with all the bright lights and everything else, and he's talking about the dress rehearsals and everything else they got to do and all this kind of stuff.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, love that. Would love to have done some of that stuff. Never had the courage for it. How satisfying.
Didn't your kids do? Were they doing? Did they not do adverts and things at once, or a little bit of something?
Rebecca did a few. She used to go do. I took her to Greece once, which was hilarious. Yeah, not the film, the actual country. And some weird stuff. I think we were doing an advert for Kraft. Believe it or not.
Did she look back on that now with a bit of embarrassment, a cringe about it, or not, or just because glad she did it at the time?
Well, I think
you wouldn't see her doing it now.
Yeah,
I'm guessing, no?
It's about 18 or 19 years ago now, so I think it's water long under the bridge. She giggles at it occasionally. Occasionally, people will mention it to her randomly because a lot of people have seen these videos. She did one video that even Stephen Fry kind of tweeted about, and I remember showing it to somebody at work 2 or 3 years ago. Right, we were having a laugh about families. Showed them this video, and this lady who I showed it to was having a giggle and saying, "Oh yeah, da 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 da." And it was only about 5 minutes later in the discussion that she twigged I was showing her a video of my daughter doing it. She said, "Oh, I saw that about 10 years ago. I thought you were just sharing something that I'd seen." So she was kind of, but say of it, but I couldn't. No, I couldn't have done that. But, Dan is back in chat and say, the daughter's the superstar. Naturally, a modest dad. I'm just the taxi driver who has fallen on stage this time. What he's really saying there is, I'm the equivalent of Robert De Niro.
That's the way I read it. That's the way I read it.
Talking to me? Talking to me?
Yeah. That's the way I read it, definitely. He'd be good at that. Yeah.
Bad Poker Podcast, Lee. We've got to talk about the boys, right? See, we're on with Chris and his partner and John. Bold prediction. Dom. Yeah. Irish Open APAT will get 1,000 runners. Wow, that is a bold prediction. But before we go into that, Lee, tell us about the boys, right? So you went on to the podcast, episode 6, I believe.
5. No, they've got proper.
5.
They've got a proper guest for episode 6 next week.
Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
Is it Mr. Williams? No, it's not. It's
Barry Carter.
Barry Carter.
Explain the logic. So explain the logic to me on this one, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're doing a bit of a giveaway for them on Poker Raffle. So if you haven't got over, go and find Bad Poker Podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
And subscribe and like it. And to be honest, they mentioned something about kissing a granny as well, but I don't know what they were referring to there. Anyway, but basically, if you do all the necessary like stuff with them, they're going to give away. We've got 100 quid's worth of site credit to give away.
Nice.
So they're gonna do the draw for that next week. Okay. So on their podcast next week. So you would have thought when booking guests, you'd book the guy that's done about 250 live stream draws to assist with that. No, they booked Barry Carter for next week. It's
not easy to plan, Lee. I remember the early days of the APAT thing. We didn't always get it right.
I'm just saying. So I was on this week. Great fun. So Dom and Chris, longtime friends, met through poker. Both do updating and blogging, vlogging, all sorts of stuff for a number of different things. And so they're good, and just decided they wanted to I think they found a good spot in the kind of in the content creation area where they can just talk about some stuff going on in the poker world and get some different guests on. And so that's what they've decided to get on with it and do it. So good for them.
Lots to be said for that. Good fun. Just getting on and doing it.
So they record it live, goes out on a Sunday night on their YouTube channel. So what we've just done for the hour is live. So if you go and catch it unedited, but they will also edit down an audio version as well, which goes out on Spotify and a few other places as well. So it's super good, and really nice guys. Made me feel very, very welcome, and quite happily just chatted about this, that, and the other. I mean, were you aware of the cannabis factory at the old casino in Northampton?
I can't say that it was. Was there a special knock?
Are you sure?
Have to have a special knock?
Are you sure you weren't aware of that? Yeah. So but
never heard of it, Lee. Never heard of it.
But the old Aspers. Now Chris made the comment that it was one of the largest cannabis factories in Northamptonshire.
So this is investigative journalism, is it, Lee? Is that what we're looking at within poker? A serious investigative journalist podcast. Love it.
Pretty much. Yeah. So it was. It was great. So interesting.
Wait, in one of the kindest comments that have ever been thrown at us, he says, "Well, this is a kind of podcast."
No,
kind of.
It really isn't. They actually plan theirs and everything. They've got like a running order and all sorts of shit.
Oh, we used to do that. Do you remember when we used to do that?
No, I don't. I think we may have occasionally talked about, we should do this or we should do that. And then we were just like, we won't bother with that. I did. I was chatting to them both when I was up in Birmingham the other week for the Party Poker Tour, and I was telling them that the fun we had during lockdown when we were filming and producing The Orbit with Robbie.
Oh, that was amazing.
And the complete contrast between the planning that went into an episode of The Orbit and what we would then do with the APAT show. And we would have meetings after meetings with Robbie about who the guests were going to be and what would be the right mix. And then when we got those guests, what questions would be asked and what we were expecting and which order they needed to, wasn't it? It was countless.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing.
To be honest, it wasn't as we didn't spend as much time on it as that suggests, but it definitely, the discussions that we did have, and it's right that when you're having the likes of Negreanu and Helmuth and some of the big hitters within the industry, you'd plan it.
Yeah, but we literally then would just rock up on a Sunday night or whatever for the APAT show and at 10 to we do
Turbo Millionaire.
We do genuinely get in the studio 10 minutes before we're due to go live just to check everything's working.
Yeah. and sometimes it isn't. Yeah, and we have to fix that within that 10-minute period.
We just deal with it. It's never really too much of a problem. So never too much of a problem. So Damien's out there. He was out in Malta. So
yes, he was.
I saw a friend of the show, Steve Double Top 40.
Friendly.
Cashed for the second year in a row.
Did he? Good man.
At APAT Malta.
I saw he had a double day two stack.
He was out there with Mrs. 40. He even sent me a couple of holiday snaps. Them down at the harbour having a bite to eat. He's had a blast out in Malta. I think he was out on an LPPL package. I think, and he might have also won an APAT seat as well, if I remember rightly. I think that possibly might have been the case as well. So,
but that's the Malta trip, isn't it? Just go out with some family, but also a ton of your mates and have some fun.
That was what was great, to be honest. The photo that I posted up of Gaz's rail, just say, so many players. Andy Duncan was out there, and Nick Crossfield was there as well. Nick Rawlings was there, and just seeing all those that have all either won a package with something to go out there, or satellited in, or they've won. And Damien's cashed
his first APAT. Amazing. Well done,
stuff.
Damien.
Awesome
nice
stuff. Really pleased for you. So yeah, just it is a good vibe. I went out a couple of years ago, and I'm really trying to make sure I can get out. From the Grosvenor Sat as well. Even better.
Love it.
I'm desperately trying to make sure I can get out for at least one of the two we've got next year. And when we can put out, say, the full schedule, but what we can say is obviously Irish Open is confirmed. Those dates are in. They've been on the website. We've been talking about this for a while. We will have another, the team event dates confirmed as soon as we possibly can. We're just waiting on the venue to confirm something is happening before, just to make sure there isn't going to be a last minute clash on that. But we will be out in Malta twice next year. We're going to be out in Ash twice next year. We're going to have a UK COAP. We're going to have an ECOAP, so Europeans. We're going to have the Worlds. We're going to have another big festival in the UK as well. We'll have poker squads live. We mentioned the team event. Say we've done Malta twice. So loads going on, and as soon as we can get those dates confirmed for you, we will get those out so you can all start making plans, because it's a big year and we want to celebrate. It's 20 years of APAT next year. Which, funnily enough, I was back on the podcast. I told the story of my kind of getting into poker to the guys. We were just chatting about different things because Dom was playing around 2002. And we were just talking about the contrast between 20 years ago and the differences between poker then and poker now, and what's changed and is good and what's and what hasn't. But yeah, I was saying that I kind of, if it hadn't have been for me having a few different poker magazine subscriptions and things that had just quietly kind of been there for a few years, because I saw the advert, one of the few times you'll have paid for advertising.
Pretty sure we didn't pay for that, Leigh.
Well, probably not, but let's just pretend you put your hand in your pocket. That would have been late 2006, early 2007. And of course, those magazines don't exist anymore.
Shame, real shame.
Which is a real shame. But just saying how things have progressed in 20 years. But it feels like there's a real push with live poker again now, even more so. And I think 2026 is just going to be huge. You just see what's gone on in the UK this year and what's coming. We know what we've got planned, and we know that all the other players are doing the same, if not more than they did this year. So it's going to be rammed for poker. But yet you look at Malta this week, and the numbers just they just couldn't cope with the numbers. And
I would say Leigh, you look at pretty much all of our events this year. We're delighted with the numbers. Every single big numbers.
Even the kind of smaller regional ones.
Yeah.
Leeds was packed. Portsmouth, there wasn't any room. They just couldn't have sat any more players down. There was every table was packed. So
Wayne is out there. How are you, Wayne? That's how I started with APAT, seen it in a mag after TK mentioned it on Sky Poker.
Yeah. I was mentioned to the guys. It was Inside Edge magazine was the one that because that's how I played my first ever tournament. Won a competition in it to get to play a free roll back in the day when you did that kind of nonsense. Now you can just buy raffle tickets. It's so much easier. I mean, I
remember, Leigh. I used to play. I used to play in a local home game in London, which was quite a big one. It was well known and it was great fun. It was just great fun. But I do remember, back in the early 2000s, regularly going into the Vic to play their £30 freeze out on a Sunday. And it was hard to find a freeze out. It was a £30 freeze out. And it was the most unfriendly environment that you could ever walk into. It was just full of kind of, seasoned semi-pros who did not at all give you any space to make a mistake or anything like that. It was just unpleasant. The whole thing was not good. And kind of APAT was born out of that type of experience mixed in with the beautiful camaraderie of a really well-ran home game. That's kind of where it came from. And I suppose if you look at where the UK scene is today, you look at Party, you look at Malta, a lot of the tours that are out there today, the focus is very much more on giving the players a really good experience, because that's how you get your loyalty, and that's why players will come back and back and back. You give them a good time. And I think APAT, there was nothing like APAT back in 2006, nothing. So yeah, I think we've done a really good job. What we did, I always take some pride in. We did well.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And I must say, I was at the Birmingham leg of the Party Poker Tour the other week, and yeah, really enjoyable. And it makes a huge difference if the vibe of the room is great. I think I said this about the story about the Irish Open earlier on in the year. I had an amazing day one, and then day two, the table was just full of a few people, and it was just a bit. It wasn't as enjoyable an experience, and. Yeah, win, lose, or whatever with the poker. But actually, if you don't feel the vibe around the table, it doesn't feel enjoyable. Kind of, it's that's the reason you're there to play. It's a social thing, and that's the way it should be. But interesting, yeah. Wayne was with the magazines as well. That was the thing. It was because there was a few around the time. Poker Player was one. I think WPT had their own magazine as well, didn't they? And there was a
Bluff
few others
as well, of course.
Bluff, yeah. And sadly, they are none of those. There's nothing like that around anymore. But that's just a general thing, isn't it?
I think it is. Digital press took over, really, didn't it? And there are. I mean, obviously, Poker News, right, is the digital equivalent of some of those magazines. Looks and feels different in terms of the content, much more international. And I guess you have Poker.org, and there's we mentioned Robbie earlier with his card player lifestyle. So I think there are lots of people out there still doing a really good job in terms of reporting what happens in poker. But it's a shame sometimes that you just can't wander into a casino and pick up a magazine.
I'll tell you a nostalgic one for you that I watched the other day, and I'd seen it and just had it on the back burner and hadn't got round to watching it for whatever reason. It's on Prime Video.
Oh yeah,
and it's called The Rubber Keyed Wonder. What do you think it's about?
It's what, The Rubber Keyed Wonder.
Yep.
It's got to be about some sort of, I don't know, keyboard warrior or something. The Rubber Keyed Wonder.
Yeah, The Rubber Keyed Wonder. It's proper. It is a proper nostalgic shot in the arm. Certainly was for me. But well worth a couple of hours of your time if you have. It's about the Clive Sinclair and the ZX Spectrum.
Really?
Yeah. It's and
I thought we were still on Poker, Leigh, but you've moved into a whole other stratosphere.
And if you grew up with the ZX80, the ZX81,
C64s,
all the Commodore stuff around that sort of time. So if you kind of played the likes of Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy and all those games, it's on Prime Video. It is.
Love
it's
that stuff.
a beautiful 2 hours of
Spectrum
of just back, and the fact that it's still being kept going. To what I didn't realize is how many copies of it there were around the world, and Sinclair as a company, they didn't do anything about it.
Well, I tell you what, Leigh.
What they did is they dumbed it up, but they made it so simplistic, a functional thing that you could buy off the shelf and bring home. And I love the pricing on it. It was something like $69.99 in kit form, or you could have it built for $89.99.
Dan is saying, "Who the hell is Leisure Suits Larry?"
Yeah, that's another one. But it was that kind of thing. If you could buy the kit and put it together yourself, you can build the computer yourself if you want to. But,
amazing.
But the fact that actually these were then copied, and so all around the world, especially in like South America and places, were copied versions of effectively the ZX Spectrum with a different name on it.
Oh, it's just incredible.
And Sinclair as a company, they never earn anything royalties from it for any of this kind of thing. And then
the world of business is full of.
Yeah, they eventually went bust.
Yeah.
They eventually went, and of course, who bailed them out in the end? Lord Sugar.
Yeah, Amstrad.
Yeah. Eventually, just brought them up. Yeah.
I'm sure I mentioned it to you. There's a wonderful documentary out there also on the creation of Tetris.
That's brilliant.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
Fantastic. Just
to be fair,
guy at home built the game.
It's not a documentary. It's quite a dramatic.
The story of Tetris.
It's what's the guy's? Who's in it? I can't think. Taron, is it Taron Egerton? Am I talking?
Oh, is it really? Oh, was it a movie? Oh, maybe I'm misremembering.
No. I think it's a movie. I think it's a movie. Yeah. I think it's. I mean, it's very factually correct. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's more dramatized.
Absolutely phenomenal story. This guy had to go to Russia to try and get the licensing rights for Tetris.
Yeah.
Incredible. There's
easy. There's a number of really good ones out there. Actually, Blackberry's another good one.
Fantastic.
That's some really good stories. But yeah, if you are a kid of that generation, growing up in the 80s, whatever, with the games,
Elite.
Yeah.
Do you know Elite?
Yeah.
No, I've never played Elite.
Do you know what? I hadn't realized watching this for 2 hours. I was like, they do a whole montage thing where they do like about 3 or 4 minutes where they're going through the different screens, and I'm kind of going, I played that. How many bloody games did I have? And then I was kind of trying to work out, well, okay, so because I remember our first ever, I mean, I have 2 brothers, so our first ever ZX Spectrum was very much, it was for the 3 of us. It was the house computer. Obviously nowadays, kids all have their own device. They don't want to share a device, do they? They've got to look at their own devices. And eventually we all got a bit older. We all had our own. You saved up enough money to buy your own PC. Which I mean, crikey! I remember lugging my PC to uni and back for 3 years.
Amstrad 1520, Lee, or a 1640 maybe. 1640. Yeah.
And wishing you could have this. And then before obviously all the kind of game the game consoles came in and took over. But I mean the games. I remember mapping. You'd sit there mapping out Manic Miner and Jet Set Willie and those kind of games, which are moving from room to room and that kind of thing. And Night Law. I saw Night Law on this program, which is difficult. It's like a 3D werewolf type thing, and just brought back memories. It was just like I remember. Yeah, I remember sat playing that. It's just phenomenal. Yeah.
I bought the audio book for it was about the creation of the Doom games and stuff like that. Absolutely sensational. Just such a great story.
So before, I mean, I think it was like Wolfenstein was the original version of that before they went into Doom, and then Doom 2, then Quake, and then I mean, what obviously came from that was just ridiculous. Yeah,
love that stuff. Great days. Trish says there. Anyone remember Footballer of the Year and Combat School? Was that one game, Lee? Was that one game? Joey Barton. Cover hero.
Match of the Day too. I mean, one of the very first football games on ZX Spectrum was Match of the Day and Match of the Day 2. They had the guy that actually did the. What was amazing with that was they talked to a lot of the programmers that got those computers and learnt the programming and coding and were developing those games and how you. And it jogged my memory because when we were talking about magazines and they were talking about the fact, well, you'd have to write into the letters page on the magazine to get feedback. There was no internet, so you weren't. I'll go and look that up, or I'll talk. No, you were literally having to write letters into magazines and get response back. And on that program is James O'Brien, who is the radio host.
LBC.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love him.
He is of that generation. So he's one of the guys they interviewed there, and he was one of the guys that he used to go on the magazines and he'd solved a number of the games. So he would advertise that I've done this game and this game. So if you send me a self-addressed envelope and a £2 postal order, I'll send you
the map. Brilliant.
Yeah. And at a young age, that's what he was doing. Was like, I'm this guy that knows how to do this or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, slightly later age than that, but when the early consoles started to come out, of course the software developers would include cover discs with the magazines. So you might get a magazine with the cover disc with 6-10 demos of various games, early stage.
Yeah.
You just get to play those. That was fantastic. My son, when he was 7, 8, I can remember us buying like magazines and just playing demos. Happy days.
And you just got on with it. You just sit there and you'd problem solve. And I guess maybe that's, I know it's a generational thing, and but you don't have that as much now, do you? Of problem solving, why something doesn't work. So you used to sit there and type out the listings of the program for the magazine. Oh, if I do this, well, it's not working. There's an error here. You have to go and work out what it was. You just got to go and find it. You can't just go, you've got to go and find what's wrong with it. Yeah, it's a different world we live in.
It is very true.
Magazines, and it brought me on to kind of the fact that you used to be able to go to WH Smith's on a Saturday and spend as long as you possibly could in the magazine section reading most of these articles without ever actually paying for the magazines. And somebody's bought WH Smith's, I found out the other last week. It's been bought out and renamed, apparently.
Well, the travel piece was bought or separated out, but I want to say that was a year or so ago.
Yeah, but apparently somebody's was bought, and they've renamed it for some weird reason.
The WH Smith name is going to disappear from the high street?
Yeah, but I believe so. Well, not as much left with high streets anyway, but
that's true. That is true. That is true.
Let's
Let's all return in 20 years' time and see what we're talking about then. We might be. Do you remember the high street?
The interesting, the very early ZX80, they had 1 kilobyte of memory.
Don't say it like that, Lee. It was a lot at the time. It was a lot.
But that's the mind-blowing thing is obviously you have your tape deck to load the game up, and you'd sit waiting for 5 or 6 minutes whilst it loaded. Isn't
there a well sort of coined phrase that to land rocket ship on the moon way back in the late 60s, it was the equivalent of a calculator's memory.
Something like that.
How the hell did they do it?
I remember once for a school fete, my dad somehow got hold of 2 Sinclair C5s for the weekend, and had brought them, and we could all have a go on the you know what I'm talking about, the electric, I don't know what you call them, carts. I don't know what you there was a name. Yeah. And he had a contact somewhere and managed to get hold, so they brought them, and the kids ran the school playgrounds with these things. Bizarre time, but he was ahead of his game. He was ahead of the game for if you think of the stuff that he was developing.
Clive was huge back in the day.
and what he back then. He was well ahead of his time for what was doing, but everyone just thought he was a bit mad, a bit eccentric, a bit
Give you an example of somebody who invested a ton of money into something, was probably heading in the wrong direction, or it didn't arrive. Is Mr. Zuckerberg with his metaverse? Right. So 4 or 5 years ago, they were investing tens to hundreds of millions into creating the metaverse, which was more like a Ready Player One style experience. Everything would happen within this metaverse. And of course, they've changed direction wildly into AI and glasses and stuff like that. But, maybe Sinclair was that, just true innovator, but somewhere along the line, maybe he was more hardware than licensing.
He was talking AI back in the 80s. Obviously, AI is a phrase that, because when did actually the novel, was it a Russian that wrote that? The AI novel that was way before that. So maybe the concept was there, but it wasn't anything anyone took massively seriously. But it's interesting how people that come up with stuff, you think, oh, that won't ever be a thing, and then you realize that driverless cars and this kind of thing it's eventually that's just going to be normal.
Look at some of the old movies, right? Terminator effectively was about AI, right? If you kind of think about it,
Blade Runner's another
same thing. Some of those old movies. Simon says, was a big poker player. I assume he's talking about Clive Sinclair.
I believe he was. No. I did sort of know that, but couldn't have told you much more than that. I mean, I don't know whether he's on Hendon Mob.
Do you think he's on Grosvenor Poker tonight, Lee? What would his username be?
You know, I'm now about to search for him on Hendon Bomb.
Don't find him. Don't find him.
I'm going to have to search for him on Hendon Bomb.
Lee, am I going to assume? I'm putting an assumption out here that Dominic, who has added a few comments,
he's on
Dominic from Bad. Is he on there?
He's on Hendon Bomb.
No
way. He's on Hendon Bomb.
That's insane. Well, listen, before you give us the results, answer my question. Is this Dominic from your Bad Poker podcast?
I'm imagining
it could be.
Yes.
Could be.
Yeah,
if so, you're very welcome aboard, Dominic. Great to have you on.
Imagine it would be. I've got more earnings than he's.
What has he done? In fairness, Lee, you've got 6-figure earnings. So what has he done then?
So what have we got here? We've got so he played a celebrity poker club series in Cardiff and won that for $25,000. He's got 4 other cashes. Played the £100 pot limit. Oh, we were talking pot limit hold'em. If Dom's still watching this, he's going to love this. So December 1999, Sir Clive Sinclair finished 5th in a £100 pot limit hold'em, Mammoth Hold'em event in London for 2,400 quid. We were talking about pot limit, like nobody plays pot limit hold'em anymore. Then he won. So that was 1999. Then he had the celebrity thing in 2003. Then in 2007, another £50 pot limit hold'em in Brighton, where he finished 4th for 500 quid. London Calling in 2010. So he had a couple of cashes in 2010, 3rd and a 7th. London Calling, wherever London Calling was. 2 small cashes in that. But yeah, he's on the Hendon.
Fair play. And out there playing Omaha, a limit version of it. Insane. Clive Sinclair.
So Simon says he's dead and likely to be on Grosvenor. It's not.
Yeah, I must admit, I did find that. Yeah.
With his technology and AI, he could be a bot on Grosvenor now.
Could he be Pot Tripper? Was it Pot Tripper, Lee, back in the day? Pot Tripper?
It could be, couldn't it? Yeah.
ZX Tripper.
Wow, that's unreal. Obviously, as I say.
Right, off to listen to a proper podcast.
We can highly recommend Chris and Dom's bad.
It's very bad. It's bad.
They honestly, the intro music is awesome because it is a version of Michael Jackson's Bad. It's bad. It's beautifully done. It's very, very, very good. And just to be clear, Dom, as has been proven that we've now been on for 50 minutes. We don't make this shit up. Honestly, we just go for it and see where we end up. We've ended up talking about Sir Clive Sinclair playing pot limit hold'em. That's how good.
we have gone to some very dark places over the years. I have to say, Lee and I, we have gone to some very dark places. We've gone to some very dark places with some guests that we've had on. But these tend to be the good episodes that get clipped.
Yeah, but we also talk some serious stuff as well. So there's no point holding back with these things. And I was saying to the guys that just obviously the APAT show was born from lockdown and kind of we didn't really quite appreciate at the time how beneficial it was for yours and my sanity during that period, but also a lot of other people in the community as well. Just it's nice to catch up with people on a Sunday night.
Yeah, we're very serious here, Lee, aren't we?
Yes, best man.
We've done everything over the years.
That's the stuff that normally gets us pulled from YouTube for some.
I don't think we've ever been pulled for any of those.
No,
But there's a first.
They normally have it. They can sometimes have a go at the music. It depends what it is. But that's the trouble with these days. Is again, it's we now live in a world whereby copywriting of content has become an absolute business in itself. It's a crazy world that we live. I'm still quite amazed. I've seen Sir Clive Sinclair. Anyway, so the Rubber Keyed Wonder is on Prime Video if you want to check it out. Yeah, well worth checking. What else have I just watched Slow Horses on Apple, the latest season of that. Love that. Very, very good.
Leigh,
Very, very good.
I know you've mentioned Slow Horses before. You're obviously a big fan of it. What did I watch last week? This movie, everybody's talking about it. I can't think of the name of it now, which is rather a tricky bit in terms of entering this segment. The nuclear weapon was fired. Help me out here, Leigh. You don't know? Maybe not seen it.
A film?
Yeah, it's a film on Netflix. It's only been out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh, not House of Dynamite.
Yes, House of Dynamite. House of Dynamite.
Yeah, haven't watched it yet, but it's on the list.
Go watch it. Go watch it.
Yeah,
really liked that. Really liked that.
Yeah. I also just watched House of Guinness as well last week as well, which I quite
haven't got there yet. Did you get through it?
Yeah. Enjoyed
and you
it.
recommend?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's the same guys that did. The same guys that did. There was some involvement, I think, in Peaky Blinders, if I remember rightly. So yeah, no, well worth checking out. But no, House of Dynamite is very much on the list. So I'm looking forward.
Excellent watch. Excellent watch.
At some point.
Well, I tell you what, Leigh, look, we're 52 and a half minutes into this thing.
We
kind of said, would we do 15 minutes? Let's do 15 minutes.
When I shared it into the group, I was like, we're going live, but it'll only be for a bit because we've not got,
not got a lot to talk about, but we could probably do another hour of this.
That's the other one that's just on Netflix, which is the gambling one set in Macau.
Yes, watched it.
Yeah, very good. Enjoyed that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's funny. I kind of walked away thinking there's bits of this I really like. There's bits of it that I don't really.
Yeah,
like.
no, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? It's it's clearly been put together because that's how we wanted the film to be. So you kind of just have to take it as it is.
I tell you though, Leigh, what I hadn't done before was have a good understanding of kind of the scale of Macau.
I thought it was a really good.
It was, and for that, it was brilliant.
No, I love it. And I tend to love anything which is set in Vegas because I just like the whole backdrop. Of
exactly.
It.
Loved the sort of the Baccarat Punto Banco piece. So it was interesting just to see how that game is played. I don't know that I learned an awful lot more than the basics of the game, but it was kind of interesting to see.
But hasn't he changed his career path with a certain few roles that have all of a sudden now put him into a position where he's now kind of he's doing stuff that kind of is up for awards and nominations. I think it was the Penguin that really got him into that, where people all of a sudden took him a bit more seriously.
Yeah, possibly, because you'd look at this role and say it's that type of role whereby it does take quite extravagant acting.
Yeah, he wouldn't have. I don't think. You did. If you'd have said you wouldn't have thought he'd have got that role 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It feels like his career's taken a slightly different path in what he's doing. And it's
I thought he acted it very well. I thought he came across very well. But it's a complicated film. Definitely. I mean, it's in all of our sweet spots, so definitely worth looking at for sure.
Absolutely.
Rightio,
cool.
sir.
We'll call it a night then.
I think we might. Yeah. I think we might.
A couple of things I need to just rattle through for you.
Admin.
So, usual thing. Going to always mention poker raffles. We've got 2 draws tomorrow night. Hendon Mob Championship. This is nuts, actually. If it wasn't for the fact that it clashes with poker squads, I'd be playing it. It's £280 buy-in. It's a 150,000 guarantee on it.
Yeah,
it's in Stratford, and we got a draw tomorrow night, so get some tickets to that if you want to. We've also got our usual weekly APAT draw, and we've also got our APAT package on, which is the following week. So get involved in any of those if you want to. This time next week, so I mentioned online championship weekend, next 2 weekends in a row. So it's PLO on the Saturday night. No Limit Hold'em on the Sunday. So it's PLO 8 the first weekend, PLO the second weekend, and then it's No Limit Hold'em the first weekend, and it's a PKO bounty the second weekend. All 4 medal events. They're 30 quid buy-ins, a lot of them. You can use the feeders to get yourself some tickets in advance. Last chance to pick up medals online for 2025. Looking forward to doing that. We'll certainly be live streaming on the Sunday night. And we'll have a look at Saturday, see whether we can fit that in.
I think it'd be good fun if we can do it. I think great fun. Would love to.
Yeah, we'll see if we can do. But yeah, don't miss out on those, and be aware that if you are downloading Grosvenor, they have now updated the download client for both Windows and Mac. So you'll get the latest version, which is just a little bit different in styling. Now, Dan didn't like it last week. He said he wasn't overly good, but it's the sort of thing that when they make a quite big change, it just takes a little while. Yeah, right. just to get used to it. But you're under tournaments on the left-hand side. You'll see the blue tournament section. You will see at the moment APAT has its own tab on there, so you'll see the ones really, really easy to find them and get involved in those next week.
Amazing. Thank you, Leigh. So, folks, I think we're going to close it there. So, as Leigh said, tomorrow night for poker raffles, some good value to be had there, we think. And next weekend, look out for the online championships.
And if you want a proper podcast, head over to YouTube, Bad Poker Podcast. Just give them a subscribe. Give the guys a subscribe. Show them a little bit of love. If you subscribe and like the episode, you're then in with a chance of winning some
raffle
poker raffles
site
credit as well. So to be honest, for a few clicks, no harm. Say support the guys in what they're doing, and if you want to check any of them out, say I've done the one this week. Natalie Bromley was on a couple of weeks ago. They've got Barry Carter next week. I think they've been talking about maybe getting the Tower on at some point as well. Yeah. So yeah, well worth checking out.
Amazing, brilliant. So give the guys a check. So we'll leave it there, folks. Have a great week. If we don't see you tomorrow night, hopefully we will see you over the weekend. So until then, have a smashing one. Thanks everyone, and good night.